Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another TheeSportsScoop video, and we are finally back with another podcast on the channel. Today, I'm finally joined by our other host, Dylan Chaum. Our past three podcasts have been, we've only done two. It's been me, Charlie, and Surridge. But now it is CIAN McDermott, Dylan Chaum. I'm staying strong. I have not missed a podcast yet. Charlie is behind the camera. We're about to watch a Cincinnati-Alabama game. We actually talked about that on our last podcast, but he came back from Florida, so he's a little bit tired. As you guys know, we're going over several NFL topics. This will probably be a little bit of a shorter podcast, kind of like a long video if you guys are fans of the channel. And yeah, we'll obviously be talking about a ton of hot NFL topics, and it's going to be a very, very good time. Make sure you guys do subscribe and follow us on social media because we do so many podcasts, videos, mock drafts, all that kind of stuff, draft and just regular NFL season. We post clips on Instagram as well. We're a very interactive page, so you want to get involved. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy 2022, probably by the time you guys see this. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's go. To kick us off, we've got a really interesting topic because there's a lot of contenders for this award, the most prestigious award in NFL football, and it is the most valuable player. I'm going to kick you guys off, just give you a list of people that I think are still in the running for this award. We've got Aaron Rodgers, quarterback, Green Bay Packers. We've got potentially Jonathan Taylor from the Indianapolis Colts, running back. And then we've got a couple of outside figures. I think most people would agree that those are the main contenders for this award. But then we've got Tom Brady, Tampa Bay, Cooper Kupp, Los Angeles, Matt Stafford, also Los Angeles, and just a teeny bit outside, I think we have Josh Allen still in this race. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I want to go and kind of a separate segment, a little bit of a separate one, and talk about Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp. And talk about how obviously they're not quarterbacks, and genuinely in your heart, take out positional value. Do these two based on like no positional value, and not as much Cooper Kupp. I say Jonathan Taylor, but either of these guys should. Again, I'm gonna emphasize you're taking out positional value. Do these guys deserve to be if there's no, again I have to say it again, no positional value. Do these guys deserve to be the top of the list? Say there was no positional value, would these guys be the top of the list?
Absolutely yes.
Yeah.
I believe that Jonathan Taylor, even if positional value isn't included,
is a thing still.
I think Jonathan Taylor potentially should still win because regardless of how bad his quarterback play has been this season, we've seen Carson Wentz make his mistakes, his fair share throughout the season. They don't have the brightest wide receiver core. They've got a solid offensive line, maybe one of the best in the league when all healthy, but they've battled with injuries all season. And Jonathan Taylor, regardless of how badly the rest of his offense has played, how many points his defense has given up, he's always found ways to win his team games. So I think find his way to win his team games. This guy, like we've seen and like we've obviously talked about in past videos, when he rushes for 100 yards, they win.
Yeah, they win every game. Not they win. They win every game. Obviously, they win every game. That's what you're implying. But what was the stat when they do not run? When he doesn't run for 100, they're
in all 6 games. What's their record?
I think they have 9 wins, I believe.
Indianapolis
are
they're
9-6.
When they have Jonathan Taylor running for over 100 yards, they're 9-0. When they don't, they are 0-6.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. And he's been again. Jonathan Taylor to me is having a season. Obviously, I believe just shy of Derrick Henry's last year. But I mean, you look at the race this year, or obviously you look at the stats from him this year. They've been fantastic. This guy, again,
way over everyone.
He's above everyone. Look at the stats: 1,600 yards,
500 yards over second place, which is Joe Mixon. 17
touchdowns, 20+ yard touchdowns. He has 12, 40+ yard touchdowns. He has 5, and obviously he is rush first, 97 yards. First down. Rush first downs. And again, nobody else is more yards. He's literally topping everybody in every single statistical category. He's been fantastic, and I think what I talking about, barring positional value, I think this guy deserves the MVP.
I think so too. I agree with you. I think Jonathan Taylor has earned it. I think the way he's reformed this team into a team that is 100% in the race for that AFC, even that AFC championship spot.
Yeah.
he is the key piece to that team, and we don't see that with a lot of running backs. So I think he's completely earned it.
Yeah, and I think what we talked about last time, and another takeaway we've gotten from this season is that fact of franchise running backs, that reinstatement of that kind of word now, obviously with Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor, and how critical they can be. Because literally, look at the stats, and even this is not arguable. Look at the stats. Jonathan Taylor is quite literally the reason the Colts have success.
Yes.
I mean, not more or less, not maybe.
It is the X factor.
In NFL, there's a lot of opinions. Most things in the NFL, especially as analysts, are up for opinion. That is a literal fact that this guy is the reason the Colts are winning games. Again, maybe that will change, but as of currently, that will. And then going to Cooper Kupp, he's been fantastic, leading everybody as well. 132 yards, 1,700, and 14 touchdowns.
Look how many more receptions he has than everyone.
Yeah.
He's just getting open at a monumental rate, and I think he's doing better than even anyone has in the past couple of years, other than maybe Michael Thomas, I believe, 2 years ago. But he's just been absolutely incredible for them. I don't think anyone could top him this season especially, and for years to come, he's going to be there with Matthew Stafford pairing really well.
Yeah. And, again, as far as the MVP race goes for him, I think obviously, look at the stats. I mean, you look at rushing, receiving wise, I think it's even more impressive because, look, as a running back, no matter how good you can be, at the end of the day, when you get the ball handed off to you, it's a guaranteed run. As a receiver, though, you need to get open.
Yeah.
There's 3 other receivers, and he has more yards than Jonathan Taylor receiving-wise and more touchdowns, right? Or no, excuse me, Jonathan Taylor has not more touchdowns. No, Jonathan Taylor, I believe, or 17, maybe you're right. But he has 14 touchdowns. Leads the league in first. I mean, he's literally Jonathan Taylor, just a running back this year. And then you look at targets as well. He's been targeted so much, and again, he's just someone who gets so open, which is just fantastic. And I think obviously for Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, positional values, where would you rank? I mean, are you giving the edge to Taylor to win that MVP?
I'm giving the edge to Taylor because I don't think the whole Rams offense falls apart when Cooper Kupp isn't there.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. I think Cooper Kupp, again, has been fantastic. I want to go in another little bit of a tangent. Cooper Kupp, a lot of people love him. We love him. I'm not sure. I believe Pick a Side podcasted this. So I'm shout out to them. I'm gonna name 10 receivers.
All right.
And I want you to tell me straight up if you would take Cooper Kupp over them.
Yes.
All right. Straight up, because people are talking about Cooper Kupp's been fantastic. I don't think he's a top 10, top 5 guy.
I don't understand how people can say that.
So seriously, Devontae Adams.
I think Devontae Adams is better than Cooper Kupp.
Okay. Tyreek Hill.
I think Tyreek Hill's better than Cooper Kupp.
Chris Godwin.
Cooper Kupp's better.
You like that's okay. That's a good. That's a tough one. I think Godwin's more talented. I would give that again. Justin Jefferson.
I think Cooper Kupp's better.
Stephon Diggs.
Cooper Kupp.
Seriously.
Yep.
I can't see that. I can't. I would take Stephon Diggs.
All right.
Keenan Allen.
Cooper Kupp.
Deontay Johnson.
Cooper Kupp.
I'm trying to think. DeAndre Hopkins.
Cooper Kupp.
I'm gonna go for guys who are top 10. Let's look. CeeDee Lamb.
Cooper Kupp.
Really?
Yeah.
And not just good, but who you would take.
I would take Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is better. Cooper Kupp has proven that he could play in an offense that is not even specifically targeted towards him and play at a level that is just better.
All right, I'll keep going. Deebo Samuel.
Cooper Kupp.
Seriously?
Cooper Kupp.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one for me. I don't know. I think
the only 2 receivers in the league that are better than Cooper Kupp are Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams.
And Justin Jefferson.
No, I don't think so.
A.J. Brown.
No. Cooper Kupp is playing at a level that none of these guys have before. They have not proven it. 10 receivers. All right. Who do you think? All right, I'll start you off.
Okay.
Jamar Chase.
I would take Jamar Chase.
Why?
I think for the future, I think Jamar Chase is a better wide receiver.
Why?
I think, again, that deep threat ability, and I think Cooper Kupp is productive like no other receiver, but I think Jamar Chase is that player who just will in the future, and again, taking out age, he's been fantastic, 1,600 yards, he has 10 touchdowns. I would take Jamar Chase.
But I just don't understand that because Cooper Kupp is playing at a level that is monumentally better than Jamar Chase, and I don't think, and it's...
Okay. Cooper Kupp, yes. Okay, Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
But I'm telling Jamar, that's close for me. I think,
right.
Again, I definitely think it's 2 different questions. It's hard to answer who would you take now and then in the future. All right, let's do now. Let's do now.
Starting now. All right.
Okay.
Who do you take? Cooper Kupp or DK Metcalf?
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp or
I'm taking a lot of people over DK Metcalf.
Terry McLaurin.
That's a really tough one. I would take Cooper Kupp.
Yep. Cooper Kupp or Mike Evans.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper.
I'm not as high on Mike Evans, especially as you are.
I really like Mike Evans. Cooper Kupp or I can't say Calvin Ridley. Cooper Kupp or AJ Brown. I'll ask you that same one.
I would take AJ Brown.
I don't understand that though. AJ Brown has played 2 seasons in a row that he's been excellent, but he's never met the status that Cooper Kupp has with 2 games left in the season.
I don't know. I think AJ Brown is a better wide receiver than Cooper Kupp.
But that offense right now is completely targeting him, and we saw what he did in that game.
I think we saw what A.J. Brown did against the 49ers when he's healthy.
But Cooper Kupp is doing that on a weekly basis.
But tell me this right now. If A.J. Brown was fully healthy this year, that would be a very hard conversation.
It would maybe be a harder conversation, but he hasn't been fully healthy. That's the first thing. Availability is the most important ability, and A.J. Brown hasn't been there.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. All right. Fair enough. Give me some more.
I'll give you 2 more.
Okay. Well, we know. Devontae Adams, I'm taking over Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill, I'm taking over Cooper Kupp. Justin Jefferson, I'm taking over Cooper Kupp. I'm taking Cooper Kupp. I don't really like DeAndre Hopkins. You know that. I mean, we think he's becoming Julio Jones. Again, availability, big thing.
Jalen Waddle.
I don't know why you asked that, and you think I'm going to say Jalen Waddle. I'm going to ask you that. You know I'm taking Cooper Kupp.
I'm obviously going to take Cooper Kupp.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
I'm not crazy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Deontay Johnson, I think, is maybe a conversation. T. Higgins. I'm going to ask you for the future. T. Higgins or Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupp.
For the future.
Cooper Kupp.
Really?
Cooper Kupp was drafted 3 years, I think 2 years before T. Higgins. It's not
All
that
right.
big of a age yet.
Yeah, okay, so that's definitely, I think, looking at other shows, a lot of people are saying Cooper Kupp is not even top 10.
I can't understand that.
Yeah,
I think this goes out to anyone who's producing a show and they're not rating Cooper Kupp because of these next-gen stats. They're blinding
I can understand top 5.
If you don't want to put Cooper Kupp top 5 because you don't want to really bias yourself off of this year, and you have a genuine argument for that's not based on crappy next-gen stats, sure. But keep in mind that Cooper Kupp has been better than the other receivers in the league, their best season, and this season's not even done yet. Statistically, he has been better. If you watch him, he's always open, and you could even put that up to Matt Stafford putting that on a dime. You could put that up to Cooper Kupp being wide open, but it's working. So
yeah. I mean, 1,700 yards, and 14 touchdowns.
You can't be better than that.
Yeah.
You really can't.
Yeah. I think,
Still a game left.
Yeah, I think that's definitely
2 games left.
Yeah. All right, well, talking about top 10s and, I don't know. I'm trying to make a good segue. We're going to talk about pretenders and contenders in the playoff race so far. So, obviously, we're going to name it right now. As it stands, playoff picture stands in the AFC. The Chiefs obviously are one. They're the only team in the AFC, I believe, that have clinched that spot. They're the only team that have clinched playoffs.
Yeah,
Chiefs stand at 1. Yeah, because look, it says 6 playoff berths are available in the AFC.
Oh, that's true.
So it's 6. Yeah. The Titans are sitting at 2. The Bengals at 3, both division leaders, and then it goes Bills, the Colts 5, and then the Patriots and Dolphins. So 3
AFC East
teams potentially making the playoffs, and then that would actually be the same in the NFC West. And then the Chargers are on the bubble, Raiders, Ravens, Steelers, and Browns. Again, we're not going to go into the playoff race. We've talked about that. We talked about that. We've talked about that the past 2 podcasts. And then obviously going to the NFC, we have the Packers at 1. And these are all teams that have clinched. The top 5 have all clinched. Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Bucks, Cardinals are the 5, and then in the hunt teams, you have the 49ers, Eagles that are currently in the wild. 49ers and Eagles currently have the 6 and 7. Eagles in the wild card, and then on the bubble are the Vikings, Falcons, Saints, and Washington. I'm gonna say this. I think we can eliminate Washington. I don't think they'll make it.
I don't think they're making it. I don't think the Saints are going to be able to make it either.
Yeah, I don't think the Saints, and I don't think the Falcons. I know you do.
I don't think the Falcons are going to make it on further notice because there's only 2 weeks left in the season, and I think they're going to lose this week. So, it's
but
really
let's talk about all right. So say this is how the playoffs are.
Yep.
Again, let's talk about pretenders, contenders based currently on the playoff picture. We're going to AFC West first. Who are the pretenders and contenders? Do you want to do the entire playoff picture, or do you want to do by division?
I'll do the entire playoff picture.
Okay, so right now, contenders, we know. Chiefs
are contenders.
Packers. I think those are the only, and Bucks. Right?
I think Chiefs, Packers, Bucks. I think those are the only contenders. Like, genuine contenders.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the only 1 seeds, right? Are the only I think right. I think those are the two locks, right?
Yeah.
Let's go pretenders. I think the Titans are. I think the Titans could potentially miss out.
I don't think the Titans are going to make it, actually.
Yeah.
I really don't. No, they're 10-5. I think they make it.
But look, I mean 9-6, 9-6, 9-6, 9-6, 8-7.
But they'd have to lose both of their games in order they win a game they're in, and I think they're going to beat Jacksonville. So.
Yeah, right. Okay, so fair enough. Okay, so let's assume that, but I think they're a first round exit.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think all of these teams could beat them. All Dolphins, Patriots, Bills. Okay, so pretenders. I think the Cardinals are pretenders.
I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Because again, I don't see the impact that Hopkins will even have when he gets back.
I don't think DeAndre Hopkins changes a thing.
Yeah,
I really don't. I think the bigger loss is Rodney Hudson in the middle of the
right, and I saw that again in the Colts game. I'm not sure. I didn't actually know that happened. All right, so let's again, if we look that way, playoff games on. We're definitely very excited to see that. But okay, Cowboys play Cardinals. That's gonna be a big game. I think if Cowboys win, Cardinals pretenders. I think
the Cardinals are pretenders regardless. Even if they go and fool everyone with the Cowboys thrashing, I don't think it matters.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. More pretenders. I think the Bengals, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
I don't think the Bengals are pretenders, but I don't think they're contenders.
We think we have the exact same mind. When we're not arguing, we have the exact. Yeah. That's the exact. I don't think. It's not that I don't think they're. It's not that I don't think they're pretenders.
I don't think they're able to beat
the
Chiefs.
I don't think they're like good enough. You know what I mean? Like the Cardinals at full health are good enough.
They're not pretending to do anything. They're not really like
this team is
anyone.
a fantastic team.
We're seeing something before our eyes that we haven't seen in a while, and that's a team that we didn't really expect to be anywhere near this playoff race and are absolutely thrashing everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think they're pretending to be anything. I don't think they're bad by any means, but I don't think they're capable of beating some of the best teams. So I wouldn't say pretenders, but I also wouldn't call them a contender.
100%. Bills, I think, are pretenders.
I think they're pretenders. I
agree
with
pretenders. Colts, I think, are contenders. I think every single team in the AFC is dreading playing the Colts in the playoffs.
I agree with you. I'll say they're contenders as well, but they're very, very one-dimensional.
I mean, that Bills-Colts game, if I'm the Bill, I'm favoring the Colts in that game.
Yeah, I would agree, actually.
Yeah.
I would pick the Colts to win.
Yeah. Patriots, I don't know.
Contenders.
You think so? No, I don't.
Contenders.
You think so? I would not put the Patriots. And that's so funny because I feel like we had different mindsets a couple weeks ago. I think the Patriots are pretenders.
I think they're contenders because, and this might all change, but they end up getting a home game. They're unstoppable.
Yeah, but okay. Dolphins, pretenders. Here's the thing with the Dolphins, and we're not going to get into this argument.
No, we're not. I'm just going to say I don't think they're pretenders, but I don't think they're contenders.
I think it's the same with the Bengals.
As the Bengals.
I think the Dolphins are. I don't know if the Dolphins are. Obviously, you're happy to make the playoffs, but I don't think the Dolphins are like. Yippee! We made the playoffs, so like let's go do something. I think it's a first round exit.
Well, obviously, if you make the playoffs,
if they play the Titans at 2.
Yeah.
That's a great point, actually.
But if the Dolphins make the playoffs, they're not playing the Titans at 2 because they have to win every game.
Yeah, right. And they're playing the Titans next. Excuse me. Right.
Which is a very interesting game.
Yeah, which actually now looking at that prediction-wise, I'm wondering if the Dolphins maybe pull off a win there. And then the Dolphins assume I
picked Tennessee thinking Henry's coming back.
Yeah.
But I might have to.
Yeah.
I might have to change my opinion, but I can't because the video's already out.
Yeah, but you know what I'm going to say? Okay, so I know we did current playoff picture. I think since the AFC is so open.
Everyone that's not in the playoffs right now
we're going to go 3
pretenders.
more down. Chargers.
Pretenders.
Raiders. Pretenders.
Raiders aren't contenders or pretenders. They're not. No one thinks they're good.
Ravens. Lamar back. I can't say they're pretenders, but the thing is, they're not gonna contend.
They're not gonna make the playoffs.
There's such a mid ground. I think we're finding with a lot of these teams where pretending to me is like I feel like I'm violating the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like pretending, but I don't think the Ravens are. I think the Ravens have had their fair share of struggles and will have that in the playoffs, and they're play the Rams next. So I don't even know if the Ravens will make the playoffs. I actually don't think they will.
I don't think they will. No.
Yeah, and shout out to us. First podcast we did, we talked about that. We said we don't think the Rams are going to make the playoffs. That was 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, you were in there.
I definitely wouldn't have said that.
I know. Okay, so we'll go over to the NFC. We talked more. Okay, so Cowboys, Packers, contenders. I think Packers and Chiefs, I would say, are my Super Bowl matchup. And I know that's very...
It's the one versus the one, but honestly, I don't know what else to say.
I know, and I think it's either the Bucks. I mean, So, Cowboys, to me, are pretenders.
I think they're contenders.
I like it's so funny how that pendulum just flipped. I mean, they had a terrible defense, and now obviously Micah Parsons. I mean, what a player he's been.
Yeah.
Rams to me are contenders. I think I have to have the
I
Rams
think they're
contenders.
pretenders.
You think so?
I don't think that they're as good as the other teams in the NFC, and I don't think that the big blockbuster signings, OBJ and Von Miller, made that big of a difference.
I put out a video just of Von Miller. I said that he will not have an impact.
He had no impact right now.
Yeah, he had no impact.
I mean, it might change.
Yeah. Bucks to me are contenders.
Yeah,
Tom Brady, and I hate this. I'm starting to see a lot more stuff of people saying Tom Brady's overrated. And you know what I'm gonna say? You know what I'm gonna say about that? I am very, very high on the distinctive of overrated does not mean bad.
Yes.
But again, we're not going to get into that. I could talk about that for hours on how delusional people have to be to say, and I don't like using that word. Excuse me.
I do like using that word. If you think Tom
never
Brady's bad, you're delusional. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, never mind. Cardinals, we already talked about pretenders. 49ers, I think they're the same as the Bengals for me. I think they have a bright future. I think Trey Lance is starting this week against the Texans.
He is.
But to me, they just don't have that kind of they don't have the ability to get over that hump. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think that their secondary is strong enough to put up with some of the absolutely monstrous air attacks in this conference.
Yeah. And then Eagles, I think the Eagles could be a sneaky if they go up and play the Cowboys. I think this Eagles team can definitely put up a fight, and who knows?
They have to play the Cowboys to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think they're beating them back to back.
Yeah. I mean, do you think the Rams can jump up to that too?
They have to play against. I think they can. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have, obviously, on the bubble, I think the Vikings are pretenders. I don't see them beating the Packers next week.
Starting next week.
Yeah, and not Kellen Mond. If you guys know me, I loved Kellen Mond, and I'm so mad about that. Falcons, I think, I don't know. Falcons, yeah,
they have to beat the Bills in order to make it, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah. And then I think Saints, Washington, I would cross that. All right, yeah, so I think that end, yeah. So I think pretenders, contenders, let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. But I think Packers, Chiefs to me are my playoff picture.
I've got an interesting proposition, and this wasn't exactly on our topic.
No, I would love to go off topic. It's the best thing to do.
All right. Now that he's, I think 4 years into his NFL career, is it fair to consider Saquon Barkely a failure?
I'm so happy you brought this up. It's a great clip, great segment. No, he's not a failure unless he was fully healthy. But again, I forgot that used to be. That's your saying. The availability is the best ability. I think it's a great point. To me, it's so funny because now with the reinforcement of franchise running backs, you'll probably start to see running backs get drafted a little bit early, like Kenneth Walker maybe. But looking back at that draft, looking back at that draft, I don't want Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold. So Saquon to me, in hindsight, kind of seems like the guy.
Josh Allen.
Or obviously, I know Josh Allen, but you have to look. That's what I hate saying. People are like, "Why?" They're so mad they didn't take. This is something we agree on. I'm so mad they didn't take Josh Allen.
But
no one was going to take Josh Allen.
Yeah.
No one was going to take Josh Allen at 2, so that wasn't really a question. He was. No, excuse me. Was it the Giants at 3?
Giants at 2.
I thought it went.
Was the second overall. It was Baker.
Yeah,
Saquon,
Darnold, right?
Denzel Ward.
That is great. Denzel Ward's a great pick. But again, he hasn't even been able to stay on the field. Saquon to me, in terms of if I'm Giants fan, and it's a really, really tough one because I feel like Saquon to me I've invested so much love in that player. I think Saquon, even that first game against Jacksonville rookie year, I mean, I was like, holy crap, this guy, he looked fantastic. And really, besides injuries, panned out exactly how we thought he would from college. When he's playing healthy, this guy is the best. It can be the best running back in the NFL. And I think whether you think that or whether you don't,
he's undoubtedly a top 5 running back when he's playing. I offer a proposition. You can get a fully healthy running back.
Yeah, and again, to me, this is another thing we talked about with running backs is you can get Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry. So many running backs fall into that second, third round that have been fantastic. DeAndre Swift.
Do you take the
Nick Chubb, if I'm not wrong, yeah.
Yeah, that was that draft.
Yeah.
But do you take the bet of having a second-tier running back in the league, maybe like, no disrespect to him, I'm a really big fan, but a Josh Jacobs, and he plays 16 games a season? Or do you want to take that Saquon Barkley, who could play 16 games a season, but he might be hurt?
So are you asking me, like, trade-wise, do I trade someone and get value and then get a running back like that, or just straight up, do I want a running back who can play 16 games?
My question is, would you rather have a running back that could play 16 games who has the same type of production as a Josh Jacobs or a David Montgomery, or would you rather have Saquon Barkley?
I mean, I feel like I'm betraying myself, but I think with the pass attack we have, and if we can fix that quarterback option, I think having Saquon, unfortunately, if he keeps getting injured, takes away a big dimension of that offense. And I think if we can have a good passing game and then running game, I would love to have Montgomery and Josh Jacobs. I would probably take
I agree with
latter.
you. However,
former, that you said.
Yeah. However, I do not want Gaskin. So for the Dolphins, I'm taking Saquon all day. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. Here's the thing. If Saquon can play, if Saquon can play 10 to 12 games, I would take Saquon.
All right.
If he's playing 5, you can't.
You can't do
no
that.
matter, even if it's Derrick Henry, you can't. Maybe not if Derrick Henry, but
I don't think you can do it.
Yeah. 7-0 Alabama. All right, never mind. All right. Yeah, I think that was a very good point. I mean, but for you, what do you think, outside perspective as not a Giants fan, what do you think about Saquon? And again, we talked about, like, what do you think they should do with him moving on? And I'll give my opinion.
I don't think you can give him another contract.
Yeah, and I think he's going to his 5th year, right? So I think he'll probably pick that up, and then I think after that. And again, that's what I think a big reason is running backs don't have a long prime unless you're Adrian Peterson. So really, that 5 years when you draft them is like, all right, take that. Don't have to pay them, go on to the next, right?
That's really what it is at this point. But if I'm the Giants, I don't give him another big contract. I let him play it out. If he wants another 2-year, 3-year contract, I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but how much ballpark would he want, right?
I can't really give you valuations.
How much did what's Derrick Henry's contract? Is he
massive?
No, wait. When was he? He was just signed, right? He's 27. Yeah, 4 year. I mean, that's not even that much. 4 year, 50. That's a lot. And $12 million signing bonus. Yeah, so he's an annual salary of about $12 million. So Saquon would probably want.
Yeah, he'll want
10 plus. Who knows? Maybe Saquon's like, look, I want more. I want to be the highest paid, and I'm not doing that if I'm the Giants.
Yeah. All right. Well,
and no matter how, and again, Giants. I hate, some NFL fans are like, oh, you betray some of our best player. You pose a different option where it doesn't include our star player. You're not a fan. You're a fake fan.
That's not how it works.
And you have to think about in hindsight, like really just money wise. I think this team has struggled so much, and I'm not going and paying Saquon that much more money because right now we're in like a rebuild-ish type era. I don't know because we kind of brought in a ton of talent, but weren't good this year. And I think, again, Daniel Jones is coming back. So, again, it's like almost 2023 is really that year where I'm like, all right, maybe that's the year we kind of show. But for Saquon, I would say keep him 5th year, and unless he has, some crazy year next year and stays healthy, I don't think we're re-signing him.
Now, keeping on that Giants topic, we're going to go into another sort of segment of this podcast. We're going to go by the coaches and the replacements that should follow. You're a Giants fan. Do you think Joe Judge has another year?
Well, he does. They said they're bringing back Dan. I don't think he should. Yeah, I don't. It's really tough because I think we'll go for several coaches, but I think the real reason that I think, and excuse me, not that Gettleman will probably leave, and then I don't see how they bring in a new GM and he's not going to want his own coach, which is why I don't really understand. I think that may just be fake. Where I think
they're just trying to reinsure.
Yeah. I think I believe Daniel Jones may stay another year, but then again, a new head coach might want his own quarterback. Yeah. So it's kind of a chain reaction.
Yeah.
But then if I'm the Giants again, it's a little bit too risky to go get a quarterback because his quarterback class, like we've said a lot, has a lot of high upside guys, but no one who I would say is particularly NFL ready. Maybe
you have
Matt
to wait
Corral.
for another year where you can get maybe a Bryce.
Yeah,
Young
a Bryce Young or and then again this year maybe we trade for Russell Wilson. Yeah. Who knows? But I would say Joe Judge is on the hot seat no matter what. The question is really, do we bring that new GM in and what does he do? So again, that's a tougher one for me. What do you think?
Well, I just want to finish this off. Say your new GM says, I don't want to have Joe Judge as my coach anymore. Who are some assistants or some ex-NFL coaches that you think could be suited well for the Giants?
I don't know. Again, I'm not a very huge on coaches, but it's tough because I think some of me and Charlie talked about a lot of things Charlie says is, don't bring in a guy who's new or unless they're proven, which I think is a great point. And again,
what we're seeing around
I really like Eric Bieniemy, obviously. I like
what we're seeing around
Brian
the NFL
Dable,
right now with the new NFL coaches. The new mold is the McVay void as we're seeing. It's been working for most teams
guys.
As we've seen Kingsbury, who I'm not so high on myself, but a lot of people like him. We see McVay, we see Shanahan, we see Brian Flores, and this is the new version, which is Zach Taylor, who's been absolutely incredible for the Bengals. He's working miracles with them. So, what do you think? What do you think? You want to bring in a new OC that can be a coach, or you want to shop in house?
I don't know. If I'm the Giants, I'm going. Oh, I want Dable. I want Bieniemy. I want someone who's proven.
All right.
Whether that be that, but I think in terms of, again, I would have to. I'm kind of on the spot, so I would have to come up with coaches. Think about, but again, just off the top of my head, obviously guys who I know. Joe Brady maybe, but I don't think he's suited to be a head coach, and obviously he was just fired, so
yeah,
I don't think so. But let's go into coach in the hot seat. We'll go down the list. I'm gonna quickly we'll go over why. Matt Nagy, I don't think we need to touch on this much. He needs to be out. If they lose this week, I don't know. They're still debating it, but I think he's out regardless as well. Matt Rule, I think he deserves another year.
I give him another year as well.
I think the quarterback play has been so atrocious. I think you have to give him a new guy.
Yeah.
Because Matt Rule's been good. Matt Rule a couple years ago, we're like, this is one of the new young guys who's going to be fantastic. And same with Joe Brady, which I think they fired him too early.
I do like Matt Rule. I think they fired Joe Brady because he wasn't able to make it work with quarterbacks.
Yeah. Definitely. Exact same. Then Vic Fangio.
He's done.
You think so?
I think he's done.
He's too defensive for me.
His team has too good of a defense not to be able to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and they currently have a less than 1% chance, so technically they can still. Oh, maybe that. Never mind. Wait, yeah, where? Yeah, so exactly. They're currently 7-8, and they have Chargers. So maybe. We'll see. Then, okay, so obviously, all right. So Fangio, I agree. Pete Carroll, no. Here's the thing. Do I think Pete Carroll should be fired if Russ goes? It's a very complicated thing in Seattle. We actually talked about this. If you guys want to check this out a little bit more, in depth, about specifically the Seahawks team, go check out our clip we posted about the Seahawks rebuild. If the Seahawks let go of Russell Wilson, I think Pete Carroll should be fired. I think they restart. I think rebuild. And again, some people will sound like Charlie and Serge like Pete Carroll to be that guy who starts the rebuild, but I think he's too old. I don't think he's someone who wants to go through a full rebuild as a coach. I say he goes. Russell Wilson is, I think, a big reason why this guy has been so successful. I would move on.
Well,
Pete Carroll has some of the most say. Him and Bill Belichick are the two coaches who have the most say in their organization. Yeah. If you want them if you think they're managers, owners, like these guys have a ton of say. So I don't, in terms of just, there are the guys that don't, and then there are guys like them that do. So I don't know if, just internally they would be okay with firing him. I don't know if they think Pete Carroll has too much to say, but I do think Pete Carroll should be fired. I don't think he will be.
I don't think Pete Carroll should be fired. I think he is someone who's shown over the course of the years, and I don't agree that Russell Wilson's made him the coach he is. He was always a coach in the NFL before Russell Wilson. He's been able to work well. And obviously Russell Wilson's worked well with him, and it's worked out a lot better. But I think just generally Pete Carroll's been able to adapt over the course of the years to the current NFL, and I don't know why he won't be able to do it again. This year is just a blip in the road. They've had injuries. They have one of the worst defenses in the league. But I think they can rework that with Pete Carroll at the helm, and I do agree that he is going to be the one that sees them through this rebuild. And it might not be a while. He's not a young man. I think he'll be able to do it.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So what's your verdict?
I think Pete Carroll stays on.
Okay, you're the exact same. Okay, so you're the same. So I'm the only one thing. Mike Zimmer, I think we have the same.
Done.
Zimmer, I think, should be out. But then it kind of comes down to the thing of, like, what about Kirk Cousins? Do you
get rid of Zimmer? You keep on to Cousins.
Yeah, because I think Cousins is capable of leading you to a Super Bowl. I don't. Yeah, I think it's the defense, and I think coaching at end of the week. Because the Vikings are a very team where it's like, really, what is wrong with them? I mean, they should be good, but I think it's the defense and coaching. People say Mike Zimmer, oh, he's such a good coach, such a good coach. We actually have a clip on the Mike Zimmer one as well. He's such a good coach, and then obviously he just hasn't kind of
done that.
Done that. Yeah, exactly. He just has not done that. But are there any other coaches?
I think questions can potentially be asked about Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think he stays on.
Yeah,
I think he stays on.
All right, we're gonna go again off topic again, or not off the script. I think this is a very good point. I'm not sure I saw this from. There's so many. I'm not sure. Again, if you guys know, put it in the comments. Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson. I know you're very, very biased on this. Based on this season, I think that gap is becoming very close.
All right.
Joe Burrow has almost 1,000 yards against the Ravens alone this season. He has like 954,
That's crazy.
7 touchdowns.
7-3 in the Alabama.
What do you think that comparison is? And I think it's close. I think Joe Burrow's become a standout guy, top 10 quarterback this year.
I think Joe Burrow's become a top 10 quarterback this year as well, and I don't think Lamar Jackson's lived up to the hype given to him this season. And he has been injured, to be fair to him, but he's had a couple of crap shows.
Yeah.
But overall, if you're asking me, and this varies from person to person, I always take the guy that's capable of changing an entire game on its head over the guy who's going to walk over, throw the nice passes, and win the game through defensive play or through his receivers getting good run after catch, which is really, really contradictory of everything I'm saying about the Dolphins. But either way, what I'm trying to say is disregard what I just said. I was just speaking nonsense. I take Lamar Jackson over Joe Burrow every day of the week because he's capable of winning games on his own. You're losing by 15 points. You can't trust Joe Burrow to come back and win you that game as much as you can Lamar Jackson to work magic with his legs.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Again, it definitely depends on your mindset and what you see value in with quarterbacks. Because I'm still taking Lamar Jackson, but Joe Burrow definitely has closed the gap. I wouldn't say it's quite to the point where you can make a video Lamar Jackson versus Joe Burrow, where you can kind of have that debate. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people will. Obviously, people can debate anything. Obviously, because people think Tom Brady's overrated. Yeah. But Joe Burrow, to me, has really stepped it up. I think this guy has shown definitely he's a franchise guy. And again, looking up, and as much as you want to give him credit for that Ravens game, again, I'm someone who takes it in context. He's been fantastic. 1,000 yards against any team, no matter how bad they are, is ridiculous. 7 touchdowns. It's a very bad Ravens secondary. It was an offense that was in the second game running with their third string quarterback. So again, a little bit here and there. But against Lamar Jackson,
I want to touch on Lamar again. He's actually improved a lot as a passer, which no one's really noticing for this season. Mm-hmm. He's done a lot better. He's going through his progressions a lot well. He's staying in the pocket when he needs to. And obviously, I think that's limited his exposure to injury, and it's unfortunate that he got injured in the pocket this season. But it's also limited his creativity and his ability to make those long runs, which we haven't seen as much of this season, which is why this is honestly a conversation. Right
now. I think that's a great point. I think it's definitely a conversation. And the real, I think at the end of the day, the real reason this conversation is being had is because Lamar Jackson hasn't played every game this season.
Yeah.
Because I think if he was, probably wouldn't be that close. But Dylan, I mean, to use it, it's solely because you value that rushing and kind of.
I value that ability to
duality. I don't think Lamar Jackson's a good passer. I know you said he's improved.
He's improved this year. He really has.
Yeah.
It's very visible. But even if it's not duality, which I think it is, mm-hmm. He's able to turn a game on its head in a way that only Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen can do. I don't think anyone else can do it like that.
Yeah.
Right, you might see an Aaron Rodgers do it in another way.
I mean, Lamar's one of the most agile players in the NFL, considering all positions.
Yeah.
Receiver, running back. I'd say probably top 5.
We've seen Lamar Jackson this season come back from leads that we've thought he's incapable of doing. And I don't think we could see that from a lot of other guys this year.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. All right, we'll move on. Let's move on now to our next topic. We talked about coaching, and I think this is a very, very good one. Defenses versus offenses. This season, we've seen a lot of teams with good defenses. We've seen a lot of teams with good offenses. What do you think is more valuable, a good defense or a good offense?
Good defense.
And I think that's why, because the trend. We saw the 49ers go to the Super Bowl. But then, again, it definitely contradicts itself because we saw the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl twice with not a very good defense and win it.
But I think that's a difference between having a special quarterback to a good defense.
Yeah.
And I think Patrick Mahomes really offsets all trends. But I think having a good defense in order to make the playoffs is absolutely necessary.
I wouldn't say make the playoffs, but go far.
Make the playoffs.
Really?
The playoffs.
Oh, well, let's look at the playoff race right now.
All right.
Chiefs, not a good defense. Well, improved defense. Titans.
Chiefs have a good defense.
Titans, good defense. Bengals, good.
Jury's out. I'm not positive.
Yeah. Bills, good.
Solid.
Bills, good. Not solid. Good. Bills had the best defense in the league for long. Colts, good. Patriots, good. Dolphins,
incredible.
All right.
Comparatively to the other guys, it's good. But
yeah, I mean, but.
Okay, come on. Let me have this.
Dolphins, all right. Okay.
No,
Packers.
Not all right. The Dolphins are good.
It's
the same level as the Bills and the Patriots.
No, the Patriots and Bills both have better defenses.
Colts then, same level.
Colts have better defense.
No.
That's why they're 7 seed.
No.
The Dolphins do not.
Dolphins have the most sacks in the league, most QB pressures in the league, second most turnovers in the league.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No.
Look it up.
No.
Look it up right now.
Packers.
People watching podcast. This is a true stat.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm joking. I know this.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue a stat that a Dolphins fan has. It's pretty good. But that's definitely a stat that has recently come to fruition.
That's true. We had 8 sacks against the Saints last week.
Yeah, exactly. And okay. Oh my God. You know what is so funny? I saw that graphic on the Dolphins Instagram, and it was like Ogba. I thought it was their sack leaders for the season, and I was like, I'm sending this to Dylan. This is hilarious. But I was like, wait, this was one game.
Yeah.
All right, Packers. Packers good defense. Packers defense improved. They just brought Jair Alexander off IR.
That's gonna help him out a lot, especially against Sean Mannion. It's gonna be
Cowboys fantastic defense.
Fantastic.
Rams fantastic defense. Bucks not as good as last year, but good.
Better than the other teams that we're gonna.
I think we're gonna see the defense need to play a big role, obviously with the ton of offensive weapons they've lost. But also remember they lost Levante David.
Yeah, Devin White hasn't been as good ever since Levante David's been out.
Yeah.
Also.
Cardinals, that's I think why they're big pretenders. This defense
hasn't been able to get to the quarterback quick enough.
Yeah,
they've truly felt.
Niners, I think they have a good. They're tough because their secondary isn't great.
Their secondary is incredibly weak. I can't tell you that they have a good defense if their secondary.
Eagles opposite, really good secondary. Front seven. Front seven's been good. I would say their secondary is probably. They kind of have solid players around, which I think forms their. I think they have stars.
It forms an all right defense.
They have stars, kind of.
Darius Slay,
obviously. Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat. So they kind of have that. Okay, so we'll get back. Obviously, we talked about defense, but I think it's so tough. God, we made some really tough. I think it's better. Yeah, I think it's better to. I would much rather have a defense that can shut down opposing offenses and hope my offense, which you can is decent, stay up. Mm-hmm. Or have a offense where I'm constantly getting to shootout games because my defense can't perform when I'm playing good teams. Because I think then you're taking a little bit more of a risk with that bad defense.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And I think a big reason, again, as much as I've conflicted between this, turnovers, again, I think that's when it starts to become a big reason why you need turnovers, especially when you have that bad defense and you're getting to those shootout games, is those players who can go out and make plays. Yeah, so I would take the defense.
I would take the defense as well.
And I think we've seen that because both of our teams have a better defense and offense, and I'm the Giants, so it's not really much, but I think, comparatively it's better than the offense. So I think defense to me, but I think, what would you say the pros of having that better offense would be, just while we're on the topic?
Never knowing always knowing that you've put up enough points.
Yeah.
Like never wondering, okay, our defense has been great, but we can't it doesn't matter because we can't put up enough points. I think that's really the only other benefit.
Yeah. I think that's, and then again, I was going to say, but what about when the offense has a down day and you have a bad defense, but it's the exact same the other way?
Same thing the other way.
Yeah, and I'm really only comparing this off teams I've seen go far recently, which is the 49ers. But I think Jimmy G's pretty good, and that offense was, had, a little bit of weapons here and there. But I definitely think that, defensively, it's having defensive prowess. I think that's it. That's kind of been a staple in NFL football. Having a good defense, you're generally a pretty good team.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And you could go 1-7 and come back and be 8-7.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. All right, everybody. Well, that was it for the podcast. Hope you guys did enjoy. That was a very fun one. That was, I think, a very fluid podcast. Hope you guys did enjoy. As always, clips will be, if you made it to the end, which actually a lot of people do, surprisingly. Congrats to you. I say this all the time. But
thank you. I appreciate it.
If you made it to the end, clips on each thing will be coming out. I know you watched it all, so maybe you don't want to see them, but if you guys are new, someone made it to the end, skipped over stuff, clips of each kind of topic we do will go out, and then obviously on Instagram, TikTok, we post even smaller clips of those clips, kind of encompassing everything we said. So really, we do it all over here. So if you guys did enjoy, obviously we were over December break, so we had a ton of content. If it starts to slow down here and there, maybe stuff stops happening. Although we did do podcasts, so we have a ton of content. And again, we're been doing more podcasts. To us seem like they really work. It's an ability. We've been able to get a lot more content out to you guys instead of having to separately record subtopics that we do in this. So I think it's definitely a lot easier for us to do. So yeah, Kian McDermott, Dylan Channel, TheeSportsScoop analyst. You can follow us on social media at Kian_MCD5 and Dylan_Shalom if you want to talk to us. I know he likes when people DM him with takes.
Only happened twice.
Yeah, you don't have to, but two more than necessary. Or you can message us on Instagram at _sports_scoop. TikTok is TheeSportsScoop. Twitter as well, the same. So we're on social media. We're active everywhere, and YouTube videos every day. We hope you guys did enjoy that one. We'll see you in the next podcast.